do this. So now I'll get professional with it. We can start the recording. All right. Welcome to your gentle flow, and we'll get into some stretches. My name is Laura Beth. I think we know that. If you would like to join me on a Spotify playlist, it's called Slowly Undying. It's one of the newer ones, so it should be at the top. If you want to grab a couple of blocks or books or anything that you can use like blocks, feel free to do that as well. And then let's get started off in child's pose today. So Balasana. Bring your big toes to touch and your knees out to the side edges of your mat. And then sit your hips back towards your heels, walk your arms forward, let your forehead come down. And if you feel comfortable closing down your eyes, go ahead. And if this is too much flexion for the hips, you can slide either a rolled up towel, a blanket, a pillow, a bolster in between your bottom and your heels. So it will release some of the tension off of the knees. So find something that feels good, that works for you. And then once you come down into this space, I invite you to close down the eyes if that feels all right with you. Relax your brows, wiggle your jaw from side to side. And then wherever you are in your breath cycle, go ahead and exhale completely. So empty everything out. And then take a deep inhale. Allow for your breath to rise. Your lungs go to full capacity. And exhale, let it go, empty back out. Inhale, draw your breath in. And exhale, empty it back out. Inhale, let your rib cage kind of expand so that your lungs fill all the way up. And then exhale, sit your hips back and down, empty out your lungs. And then maybe even take a baby exhale at the bottom so that you're completely empty. And then begin to roll your forehead side to side. Getting a baby massage from one temple to the other. And then exhale, completely come right back through center. And then inhale, draw up into all fours. So hands and knees, box pose. Stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Bring your knees underneath your hips. And then spread your fingers out wide. Press down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. And with your inhale, drape a soft belly down to the ground. Take a sway to your low back. Lift your chin, lift your gaze. And then exhale, reverse the movement. Dome out your upper back. Drop the crown of your head down and really, I almost said celebrate. Separate your shoulder blades. And then inhale, drape your belly down. Press your heart between your upper arm bones. Broaden through your clavicle. And exhale to reverse it. Dome it out. Navel to your spine. Drop your head down. And then inhale right back through to your cow pose. Maybe you start to kind of segment your spine. So on the exhale, tuck the tail, roll through your lumbar spine, move up into your middle upper thoracic spine, drop your head down in between your upper arm bones, tuck your chin. And then just take a few more rounds of that at your own pace. Match your breath to your movement so that as your belly drops down, you're inhaling. And as you contract and bring your navel in and up, it's an exhale. And then if you want to move out of this vertical plane, you start to kind of sway your hips around. You might feel this in your wrists, your elbows, your knees, your hips. But just find something that feels natural in your body and move accordingly. So I'm kind of moving myself just because I've got something going on in my back. And so I move in a certain direction and it creates some traction. But you kind of do what you need to do. You don't necessarily have to mirror my movements, I guess is the point that I'm getting at. If you moved into full-on body or hip circles, make sure you move in the opposite direction as well, so you even out your body. And then come right back into center when you're ready. Draw the pit of your belly in and up. Inhale here, press your palms down into the ground. And then exhale, use your core, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Create an inverted letter V shape with your body. Lift your hips, let your heels feel heavy, whether they're touching the ground or not. We don't really care, right? Walk a little bit forward. And then if you're feeling at all limited today in the Achilles, the hamstrings, any of that kind of stuff, roll to the balls of your feet. Lift your heels, take a bend to your knees, and then really lift your tailbone up. So you create this area right here where the tailbone is like an arrow to the sky, and it becomes the apex of your body, right? So let your ribs press in towards your thighs. And then you can walk your dog, pedaling out the feet, lifting one heel and dropping the other. Alternate from side to side. And then with your inhale, take a soft bend to your knees to look forward. And then exhale as many steps as you need to take your feet to the top of your mat. Drop them right behind your wrists so they're about hip width distance apart. Now with your inhale, you could have your blocks here at the top of your mat. Bring the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back, your belly in and up. So if you look over, my back is like a tabletop, right? Your belly pulls in and up. And then you exhale, take a bend to your knees. Drape your chest to your thighs. Let your head hang down completely. And you can grab opposite elbows if you like it. You can sway side to side. You can just be still. You do you. And then when you're ready, let your hands come down to the ground. And then pull the pit of your belly in. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms out and up once you get here. Stay right here for your exhale. Take another inhale. Reach your fingertips just a little bit higher. And then exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Your thumbs pressing towards your sternum. Now inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, fold yourself down, take your chest to your thighs. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Tabletop yourself out. And then exhale, bring your hands down. Step your feet back to the back of your mat and bring your knees down to the earth immediately. So today is your gentle practice, so don't overdo it. Inhale, shift yourself forward. And then exhale, bend your elbows, come all the way down. So you're on your belly, your chest, and your pubic bone touches the earth. Toenails are down, hands just outside your chest. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Kind of peel your heart up. So Bhujangasana, your cobra pose. Your elbows are still bent, but hugging in. And then exhale, slowly come back down. If you need to wiggle your hips side to side, you can. And then inhale, roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. Press your palms down. And exhale, melt yourself back down. Last one, inhale, shoulders back, hearts high. And then exhale, press your palms down. And then lift your hips up and back to child's pose. Chest to your thighs, forehead down. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale, lift yourself up into all fours. And then exhale, curl up your toes, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog, your inverted letter V. Inhale, there's a soft bend to your knees. Look forward, take your time. Exhale as many or as few steps as you want to get your feet to your hands. Inhale, bring your fingertips to your shins. Take the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back, your belly in and out. And then exhale, melt yourself down. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach your arms out and up. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, crown forward, tail back, belly in. Exhale, hands down. Step your feet back, and it's okay if you get behind, so don't overthink it, don't worry about it. I just want you to move and breathe. Let your knees come down to the ground. Point your elbows back, shift your heart forward, and then come all the way down to the earth. Inhale, untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Exhale, press your hips back towards your heels. Inhale, lift yourself up, find your box pose. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, soft bend to your knees, look forward. Exhale, step your feet to the top of your mat. This is your last one. We're just warming up a little bit. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, fold yourself down. Inhale, root to rest, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, take your chest to your thighs. Now, here's the option at this point. To leave your feet separated or to heel toe them together so that they're slightly touching more the big toe ball mounds of your feet rather than your inner heels. And then inhale, sit your bottom back and down, bend your knees, and then lift your chest. So find a quick chair pose. It doesn't have to be a lot, right? I'm just kind of opening up through my chest a little by taking my hands behind my back, but you don't have to. Perfect. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, stand up nice and tall. Bring your hands to your heart. All right, y'all. So from here, on the inhale, step your left foot to the back of your mat. And then spin your left heel flat. Bend your right knee. And then inhale, reach your arms up overhead. So warrior one. And just hold here for a couple of breaths. Your right knee tracks your heel or your ankle. And then engage your left hamstring and your left glute because this is the side of the spine that the back bend is occurring. Draw the pit of your belly back, so zip up your low belly. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, lift your left heel so you parallel your toes. And then exhale, step your left foot forward. You're right back at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat, working your balance just a little bit. Now bend your left knee, angle your right toe slightly inward. The more you can get your right toes to kind of come in, the more your right side waist, your rib cage, and your right hip will wrap naturally forward. Soft bend into the, well not soft, a deep bend actually into your left knee so that your heel and your ankle fall directly underneath. Breathe here, navel to your spine. Good. Exhale completely. Now on the inhale, lift your right heel, parallel your toes, and then exhale, step your right foot to the top of your mat. Nicely done. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, and then exhale, fold yourself down. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, step your left foot to the back of your mat, and option two, bring your left knee down. So with your left knee down to the earth, your right knee tracks the heel or the ankle. Inhale to pull your heart forward, and then exhale, shift your hips back, straighten your right leg, flex your toes towards your shin. Now I'm going to give you the option today to hold this right here, if that's what you're kind of feeling, or to move forward and backward like we do sometimes, right? Inhale forward, exhale back, or just stay right here. Breathe in. Know that you're breathing in. And breathe out. Know that you're breathing out. If you need some IT band work, start to walk your hands over to the right. And the flex of your toes back towards your shin stays right as it was. Perfect. Now come right back through center, nice and slow. Inhale to walk yourself back towards the top of your mat. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee. And then it's exhale, giant step forward. Your left foot comes to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And exhale to fold it back down. Now inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, soften your right knee down. Your left knee tracks your heel or your ankle. You probably feel a stretch on the front of your right hip. That's all good. Inhale, pull your heart forward, lift. Exhale, shift yourself back. Straighten your left leg, flex your toes towards your shin. Same options. You can walk it forward and backward if you choose, or you can just be still. But draw your left hip back, your right hip slightly forward, and spin your navel towards your left inner thigh bone. Lead with your collarbones. And then you have that same option if you want to do some IT band work to drop your right hand over to the outside of your left foot. Now exhale completely. Inhale, rotate back front and center. And then walk yourself all the way to the top of your mat. Curl up your back toes. Lift your back knee. Exhale, giant step forward. Your right foot meets the left. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And then exhale to fold yourself back down. Now inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. And then remember, it's flipped for some of you, so you're going to have to kind of listen to which side we're on because it might look backwards to you. Step your right foot to the back of your mat. And then turn your right toes towards the back of your mat. Your left toes are towards the long edge. Now inhale, reach your arms out like a T. Bump your left hip towards the top of your mat and reach your right fingertips towards your right toes. And then exhale, drop your right hand down and reach your left arm up to the sky. Gaze to your left hand. Utthita Trikonasana, your triangle pose. So ideally your torso stacks on top of your right thigh. And then your arms are at 12 o'clock. Traditional drishti, which is your gaze point, would go to your left hand. And then you're kind of stacking your hips a little bit. Lengthen your tailbone. And tuck your right butt cheek slightly under. Breathe. Now gaze down at your right big toe. Inhale, bend your right knee and bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms out to a T. So warrior two, Virabhadrasana B. And then gaze to your right fingertips. Drop your hips low. Good. Relax your shoulders back and down. Just going to open up and breathe. And then if you have a block, this is a great space to drop a block to the inside of your right foot. Inhale here, lengthen your spine. Exhale, drop your right hand, either right forearm to your right thigh, right hand down to a block or to the ground. Now your left arm can reach to the sky or all the way forward. So with the left fingertips reaching up and over, getting a deep side body stretch left side. Now with your inhale, bring your shoulders back up over your hips. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes towards the long edge of your mat and your left toes towards the front of your mat, so towards the short edge. Open your arms out to a T. Inhale, bump your right hip back. Reach your left fingertips forward. And then exhale, drop your left hand down. Reach your right arm up. So taking that same thing now, left side, that same little mini sequence. Your gaze to the right hand if it feels okay. Your left hand could be on a block. But breathe. Now inhale, bend into your left knee, bring your shoulders over your hips, reach your arms open out like a horizon, gaze to your left fingertips. Exhale, just settle in and breathe. Let your tailbone drop down neutrally, and your right toes are still angling slightly inward. Now with your inhale, lengthen your spine. And then on the exhale, left forearm to your left thigh, left hand down to a block, to the inside of your left foot, to the outside, whatever. And right hand reaches to the sky, or all the way forward. Breathe here. Deep side body stretch, right side. Now inhale, slowly bring your shoulders back up over your hips. And exhale, straighten your left leg. Turn your left toes towards the long edge of your mat. All right. Both feet, your toes are either going to be slightly pigeon-toed or parallel towards the long edge of your mat. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Prasarita Padottanasana A. Exhale, hinge at your hips and drape your chest. So I'll turn sideways so you can kind of see for a second. You're really trying to hinge here instead of here, right? It's a hinge forward and then down. Let the crown of your head reach towards the ground. Doesn't matter if it gets close, right? It's just the direction you're moving in. Relax your shoulders from your ears. And take some weight into the balls of your feet, not everything into the heels. And then when you're ready, exhale completely. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, bring your hands to your hips. And inhale, come all the way up. Roll your shoulders back and down. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. On the exhale, turn your right toes towards the short edge of your mat again. So now you're facing towards the back of your mat. I have to step my left foot over slightly so that I create more of a railroad tracks rather than a tightrope. And now face the back of your mat. So square your hips, square your pelvis off towards the back. And then you can choose with or without the arms, right? So it's all good. If you want reverse prayer hands, reach your arms out. Internally rotate your upper arm bones. So your thumbs point down, palms back. Take your hands behind you, seal your palms, and then flip your fingertips up. And slide the knife edge of your hands in between your shoulder blades. You can skip that part, okay? You could also have blocks on either side of your right leg. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, hinge at your right hip, and fold over your right leg for your pyramid pose. So you could just have your hands down here. It's all good. Spin your navel towards your right thigh bone. Press down into the big toe ball mound on your right foot. Relax your brows. Relax your jaw. Now on your inhale, lengthen your spine. Take the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back, your belly is drawing in and up. And on the exhale, your left hand is going to stay on your block or on the ground to the inside of your right foot. And then inhale, reach your right arm up to the sky. You could take your right hand to the small of your back. And then just rotate your right shoulder on top of the left. Look up. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, let your right hand come back down. Inhale, bend into your right knee. And then exhale, soften your left knee down to the ground. So you've been here before-ish. But this time, inhale, bring your shoulders up over your hips, your arms up over your head. And then you have the option to open arm twist to the right, left fingertips forward, right fingertips back. If you need something a little bit deeper, you're going to hinge and then twist towards the right and take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee or thigh. You do what you need to do. It's all good. And then inhale, swim your right hand down, rug forward, arms up. Exhale, frame your front foot with your hands. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee. This is your inhale. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Now walk yourself to the left, nice and slow. So now you're facing the long edge of your mat again. And then inhale, halfway lift, hands to your hips. Exhale, come all the way up. Good. Now take your left toes, spin them towards the top of your mat, towards the short edge. Walk your right foot out to the right a little if you need to. And then rotate your hips so you're squared off towards the top of your mat. And remember, it's more of a, at least for me, right? It's more of a railroad track kind of situation than it is a tightrope. Option to do your reverse sprayer hands behind the back if you like that. Otherwise, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge at your left hip. Frame your front foot with your hands. And breathe. Navel to your left thigh bone so your left hip pulls back, right hip forward. Then you breathe in. You know that you're breathing in. You breathe out. You know that you're breathing out. Now exhale completely. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Your right hand stays down, either on a block or on the floor. And then take your left hand either to the left hip to the small of your back. Rotate your left shoulder on top of the right, or reach your left arm all the way up. It's up to you. But breathe. One more inhale here. And exhale, let your left hand come down. Inhale, bend into your left knee. And exhale, let your right knee soften down to the ground. You might have to scoot your right foot back. Inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips, your arms up over your head. And then the option is yours to exhale, open arm twist, right fingertips forward, left fingertips back. Or exhale into a deep prayer twist, hands at heart center, hook your right elbow to the outside of your left knee or thigh. Breathe. On the inhale, let your left hand come down, reach forward and up. And then exhale, frame your front foot with your hands. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee, that's your inhale. This time on the exhale, step your right foot all the way forward. Forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, bring your hands down, step your feet back. Soften your knees down to the ground. And then press your hips back towards your heels and find your child's pose. Forehead down. You can roll your forehead side to side. All right. So I was actually I'm gonna add something I would have done when we were still standing, but it's fine. I want to add it in, so I'm gonna. So on your inhale, press up into your box pose. Exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, step your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold yourself down. And then inhale, come all the way up. A little bit of balance, right? Because why not? So I'll face forward for a moment. Root down into the four corners. Let's do right foot. Root down into the four corners of your right foot. Actually, I'll face this way. And then lift your left knee. You can come to the ball of your left foot, or you can lift your left knee to a 90-degree bend. Now with your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. So we've twisted pretty extensively at this point, right? On the exhale, open arm twist. Take your right fingertips forward, your left fingertips back. If standing right here and balancing is plenty for you, then stay right here. If you need a little bit more, you twist in towards your left leg. Maybe your right hand catches the outside of your left thigh. Breathe. If you want, your right hand can catch your left big toe. We've worked the IT bands a little bit, and you can extend your left leg. Breathe. Now if you're twisted, inhale, rotate back front and center. We come out the same way we came in. And then exhale, place your left foot down, bring your hands to heart center. Woo. Press down into the four corners of your left foot. And then let your right heel lift. Option to stay right here if this is all that you need. If you want, lift your right knee up into a 90-degree bend. If this is the level of work you want to do today, this is where you stay. Otherwise, you inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, open arm twist in towards your left leg. Reach your arms out like a T. And then option to bring your left hand to your right thigh. Option to take your left peace fingers to your right big toe and extend your right foot forward. Breathe. And then if you're twisted, inhale, rotate back front and center. Exhale, place your right foot down and bring your hands to heart. All right, y'all. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold yourself down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Pop up onto the balls of your feet. And then exhale, bring your hips down towards your heels. And then just sit down. Take your time. All right, so extend both legs out. And then kind of roll everything, like if you got stuff to move out of the way, roll all your flesh out of the way. Find your sits bones. And then roll slightly kind of towards the front edge of your sits bones, so you're getting a little bit more of a tilt, right? And then your legs are together, unless that creates compression or something in the low back, in case you can separate them. And then inhale, reach your arms up overhead, Paschimottanasana. This is your seated deep forward fold. And then exhale once more, hinge at your hips. So rather than going here, think of your frontal ribs making contact with your thigh bones. So you hinge forward at the hips. Lead with your heart and your clavicles. And then your hands may or may not find your feet, it doesn't matter. Roll your shoulders back, pull your heart forward, and then exhale, melt yourself down. On the inhale, lengthen your spine, take your gaze forward. And then exhale, walk your hands back up. All right, got a little roly-poly here. Leave your right leg extended. Bring the sole of your left foot towards your right inner thigh. Scooch, buddy. And then with your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Janu Sirsasana A. Exhale, fold forward at your right hip. So there's no pain, no sensation at all really in the left knee, if at all possible, right? And then spin your navel towards your right thigh bone. Allow this to be about your right hamstring, your left hip, your low back, left side. And breathe. sole of your right foot towards your left inner thigh. And then inhale, reach your arms above overhead. Exhale, fold at your left hip. Relax your shoulders back and down. Breathe into this. Inhale, lift again. Exhale, walk your hands back, shoulders up over your hips. And then lift your right knee, extend your right leg long again. And this time bring the sole of your left foot to the ground. Bend your left knee. Now y'all, I'm going to be picky for a second, right? So bring your right hand back behind your hip. With the inhale, lengthen your spine and lift your left arm. As you exhale, hinge forward and then internally rotate your left upper arm bone. So spin your left thumb down. Your palm's going to face to the left. As you reach for the outer edge of your right foot. If your foot and hand don't connect, that's where your work is. You're just going to reach and feel the stretch. And I'll face forward for this, if your left hand finds the outer edge of your right foot, you have the green light to attempt to bind around your left leg. So you would spin your upper arm bone in, wrap your left arm around your left shin, your right arm around the small of your back. Inhale here, and then exhale to fold down. Drop your head. Breathe. On the inhale, lift your gaze, and then exhale to release. Let's switch sides. Left leg goes long. Bend your right knee, bring the sole of your right foot in towards your left inner thigh. Bring your left hand behind your hip. Inhale, reach your right arm up first. And then as you exhale, hinge forward, spin your right thumb down and reach for the outer edge of your left foot. If it gets there, perfect, we'll get into that, right? If it doesn't, this is where you are, and you stay and you reach, because there's a lot more that needs to happen before you attempt the bind, right? You don't need to tear your rotator cuff or anything like that. The binding is just extra whenever you need extra. If you don't need the extra, you don't do it. If you want to take your right arm, wrap it around the right shin, the left arm around the small of your back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt down. Breathe. Nicely done. Now inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale to release. And then bring the soles of your feet together. Your heels in towards your sits bones for Baddha Konasana, your butterfly pose. Lengthen your spine, lift your chest. Then your hands can find your feet if you like that, or hands can come down, whatever feels best. But inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, hinge forward. Stop when you feel sensation. Breathe here. And at some point the hips will open to a degree that the knees will just start to fall down towards the ground without forcing it, pushing, or pulling. And then on your inhale, slowly come back up. On the exhale, bring your knees together like you would the pages of a book. And then wrap your arms around your shins. Tuck your chin. Maybe your forehead comes down towards your knees. then slowly bring the crown of your head back up. And find a space so that you can maybe scoot forward and roll down onto your back. And go one vertebra at a time, so take your time, no rush. And once you're down on your back, go ahead and inhale, find a full body stretch. So reach your arms up over your head. Allow for your low back to arch up and away from the mat. And then roll out your wrists and your ankles. And on the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins for a moment. And then drop your feet down onto the ground. About hip width distance apart. Toes and knees are at 12 o'clock. And then press your feet down, like you're going to try to press your feet down and away from you. Bring your hands down next to your hips. Setu Bandhasana. Let's bridge the spine for a moment. So inhale, lift your hips up into the sky. And then stay for your exhale. So you have the option to just stay right here. Spin your thigh bones internally. If you are feeling some space, you could bring your arms underneath your shoulders, maybe even bind up your hands. Find something that works for you. And remember, you're still pressing your feet down and away, so that it's more about your inner thighs, your quads, your hamstrings, less about your glutes, right? Take one more inhale. And then exhale, one vertebra at a time. Soften yourself back down. Take your breath in. And then Supta Baddha Konasana as you breathe out. Let your knees fall comfortably open. Soles of your feet together. Heels in towards your sits bones. Take an inhale. And then exhale, draw the knees back together nice and slow. And then hug them in towards your chest and find a happy baby. Peace fingers to the big toe. Hands to the inner or outer arches of your feet. You're going to rock side to side. And just breathe here. And then release your feet back down to the ground about hip width distance apart. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Take a flex to your right foot. Let your right knee just kind of hang comfortably open. Inhale here. Stay in your figure four if that's your jams. Otherwise, exhale. Draw your left thigh in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers around your hamstring. You kind of nuzzle your right forearm into your right inner thigh. Relax your brows, relax your jaw. One more inhale here. Exhale, place your left foot back down on the ground. Inhale, open your arms out to a T. You might have to scoot your hips slightly over to the right. And then exhale, drop your knees to the left and get a figure four twist. Gaze over to the right. On your inhale, slowly come back through center. Let your low back find the earth, and then exhale, release your right foot down to the ground. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Give your left foot a flex. Let your left knee fall away. Stay here if you want. Or exhale, hug your right thigh in towards your chest and interlace your fingers around your hamstring while your left forearm nuzzles into your left inner thigh. Baby flex to both feet. And as you breathe in, you know you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, you know you're breathing out. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, release your right foot down to the ground. Keep your figure four. Inhale, open your arms to a T. You might scoot your hips slightly to the left. And then exhale, drop your knees to the right. Turn your face to the left. On the inhale, slowly draw yourself back through center. And then exhale, unravel, release. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And then press your feet up into the sky for waterfall, legs up the wall. Let all the blood rush down. Close your eyes or leave them open. Just gaze softly at the ceiling or the tip of your nose. Now you can be still here, or you can draw figure eights on the ceiling with your feet. Take one more inhale here. And then on the exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your chin. And if you like, you can bring your forehead up to your knees. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, just open up, unfurl, unravel, find your Shavasana. You might have to switch the song depending on where you are on the playlist if you're using mine to the last one. But when you're ready, sprawl out. Let your legs extend forward, your feet hang comfortably open. Your arms come down by the side, body with your palms facing up. Let your fingertips curl ever so slightly inward towards your palm. And then relax your brow. Wiggle your jaw from side to side. And then let your jaw go completely slack. You might take a deep inhale. And then exhale through your mouth. Release and let go. And rest. you need is to be here a little bit longer. You're going to tune me out and stay right where you are. There's absolutely no rush. Otherwise, begin to deepen your breath, to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And on the inhale, float your arms up overhead and find your full body stretch. And then you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your shin. And just roll over to the right. And then eventually you'll rock all the way up into your comfortable, easy sit, Sukhasana. And once you're there, your sits bones move down into the ground. Stack your shoulders over your hips and lift your heart. And your hands can rest in your lap, on your knees, or in Anjali Mudra at heart center, palm to palm, thumbs to sternum. So we take that final moment, that pause, to be grateful for our bodies, for what they do for us today, to be hopeful for tomorrow. Thank you for taking this moment, for getting on your mats. It's important. It's a necessity, not a luxury. So good on you. Have a great rest of your day, whenever it is that you take this. Namaste.